Hey everybody, this is Chris from Divine Key, spelled QI, and I'm joining you on April 1st in the US, which is April Fool's Day or All Fool's Day. And just for something fun, I'm going to be pulling some cards live for anyone who would like a card, but I'm only pulling it from the Fools from all my different decks. So it's not going to be a full deck, it's just the full deck. That's funny. It's just the Fools out of the deck and they change. The energy changes from deck to deck. So I thought I would just do this for fun and see if anybody's interested in having a card pulled for them. I'm just checking the comments to see if who's here and what's going on. Okay. So if you're here, welcome. Again, I hope you're having a good first part of the year. We're into April now, so that's kind of fun. And let's see what we have going on. I'm trying to see where the comments are showing up here. Obviously, I'm kind of new to this whole Facebook thing. So let's see. Just seeing, it says everybody can participate in the chat. John, how you doing? Do you want a full card for your day? It is morning. I'm not sure how many people are going to make it on, but I thought I would just pop on quick and see what's going on. It's hard for me to see the comments and see the cards. So I have a variety of decks that I'm using here. It has quite a bit of different energy that's going on, and seeing, sure, okay, well, I'll pull a card for you. Trying to see, my comments are not scrolling automatically, so I'm having trouble seeing. Okay, John, so I'll pull a card. I'm not going to look because I have the vice versa deck, and plus the cards are different sizes. They look different. So let's just see. You got Alice in Wonderland. So that's kind of funny, right? I love the Alice in Wonderland card for the full. It looks like that. There's kind of a glare, but so it really talks about, being willing to take that leap of faith and go down the rabbit hole. And for Alice, she has her faithful cat with her, which maybe follows her down the rabbit hole as the Cheshire cat. But she's very gleeful. So it does talk about being very gleeful as you leap forward, not overthinking it, just following your heart basically and seeing what you can find as you go and explore. It could be an inner journey as well as an outer journey. A lot of people do think that Alice in Wonderland is an exploration of her inner psyche. So that's what this card talks about. So for April Fools, or for the Fool's Day, this talks about seeking your inner knowledge and having fun with it, like gleefully jumping in and seeing what happens and exploring. Alice explored uh, freely and learned a lot. So that is your card, John. Let me see if I can get this up on my phone. Maybe I can see the comments easier. Because doing it this way, I'm having trouble seeing the comments. So I don't know who's on. So bear with me for a minute while I call this up on my phone and see. Okay. So I do have comments going now. Hopefully they come up. Thanks, John. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It's always great to have other readers show up and join in the fun. So welcome. And let's see who else. Hey Beth, how you doing? Would you like a Fool card for today? Which Fool are you? Hi Lynn. So I'm looking down off to the side to see my phone so I can see who's coming in. So because the comments are not popping up properly on my actual computer. So good morning everybody. So I'm pulling just the Fool. So I have a couple different decks. I don't have every single deck that I own in this, and I'm just pulling the Fools for April Fool's Day, just for something fun. So if you'd like a card, just let me know. If you'd like a Fool card. Which Fool are you? As I said in the heading. To see what we've got going on here. So Beth, you don't want a card then? Gotta have fun with it, right? Let's see who else we have here. So Lynn, are you looking for a card? I'm not gonna pull a card unless you say you want one, because you know, you gotta. I don't want to force my beliefs onto you. So let's see. Okay, Beth. So I'm not going to look at the cards because I have all the different decks, and I have a vice versa deck, which is printed on both sides. So I don't want to see it if that one comes up. So Beth, you got the Fool from the Wild Unknown Tarot, and this is by Kim Kranz. And this is really, this is kind of a card of vulnerability. It's a little bit different than some of the other energy that comes with the Fool. This one is about cracking out of your shell, literally finding your way out of the box that you've put yourself into, and being willing. I get the sense too, because this is like spring, so it is like singing, like being willing to voice what you want, and to sing it, you know, not demand it, but it's kind of funny because when birds are demanding, they still sound really good. So this is, you know, the ability to sing your wishes, basically. And let me see what else we got going on here. So this little chick isn't mature enough yet to fly. So it is also a message on being willing to wait until your wings completely feather out before you take flight. So typically, traditionally in the Fool, it's about the leap of faith. It's about taking that action, even if you're not sure of where you're headed. But in this case, it's really more about getting secure in where you are right now before you test the wings and take off. So, Beth, that would be your card, the Fool from the Wild Unknown Tarot. So let's see who else we have. Hey, Lynn. Okay, so let me pull a card for Lynn. What Fool is Lynn? Let's see what we have here. So you got the Fool from the Line Strider deck. This one's really interesting. So the Line Strider by CeeLo Thompson. It's watercolors, and there's a lot of white space, and definitely in the Fool you can see that there are pieces that have not been completely filled in, and that says to me that there's a lot of potential yet. You haven't explored fully everything that's out there for you. So be adventuresome. Go out there and seek those pieces that seem to be missing, Lynn. That's what I'm getting with this. And he's carrying it. It's similar to the traditional Fool. He's carrying a pack that has just the very, very bare necessities. So this doesn't take a lot of stuff to get going. Really, it's just the ability and the intention to go forward and find those things that call to you. You know, seek the adventure and take the beauty with you. He has a flower that he's taking with him. So he's bringing beauty along with him. So it's not like, don't expect wherever you're going to fulfill you completely, because it's just a piece. You know, there are multiple pieces that you're going to be seeking. And then there's also a little bird right there at the top. And that also is telling me that you have some guidance with this. Like, trust your intuition as you go forward, Lynn. Really listen, like, take a moment and listen to your intuition and see what it's calling you to do as we go into the rest of the year and the new year. This is also a new moon. So, extra bonus there is with a new moon, you can set intentions and it'll help guide you going forward. So, try that. That sounds like fun. Let's see. Hey, Anna, how you doing? Good to see you here. Did you want me to pull a full card for you? Just pulling from just the fulls of all the decks that I own, or all the decks that I have here, actually. So there's a few, and you get different energy depending on which deck you're pulling from. So if you're interested, that would be awesome. If you just let me know, I will totally pull a card for anyone who wants one. Hi, Barbara, Anna. Nice to see you here. Does anyone want to have a full card pulled for them on this April Fool's Day? New moon in Aries, new beginnings. It's so, everything about today is about new beginnings. You know, the Aries is the start of the astrological signs. It's the baby of the astrology. The new moon is always about intention setting, about creating new intentions moving forward. And you know, the full April Fool's Day. It's about taking that leap of faith. So, sure, Anna, I'll pull a card for you. Let's see what we have for Anna. Anna, what card do we have for Anna? Okay. Oh, this was fun. Okay, so you have the Merlin, the Fool from the Chrysalis Tarot. And this one's really interesting because traditionally the Fool is a new beginning, a start, something fresh, you know, breaking out of your shell and moving forward. And in this case, it brings in the energy of wisdom. Merlin has a lot of wisdom. So it's kind of like the ending and the beginning together. So it is about knowing that even when you start new beginnings, even when you're starting fresh, there's so much wisdom that you carry with you. And there's so much magic in that. You know, Merlin the magician. You can manifest. It's a card of manifestation. It's a card of it. It's almost like the magician, but it shows up as the full card in this particular deck. And so, like, because this is the Chrysalis deck, and because it talks about butterflies and the energy of transformation, this makes total sense because the beginning of the butterfly is the end of the caterpillar. So you have to allow that change to happen. And that's what this is asking you to do in this full energy that's coming through. The cat in the picture here that Merlin has with him, that when a cat shows up for me like this, it also says to really follow your instincts, to trust your intuition, and that you get a chance to do it again and again. You know, cats have 9 lives, supposedly. So that is an indication of not worrying about getting it wrong or right, but just getting it going. So that is your card, Anna. I hope that was helpful. And is anyone else looking for a card? Anybody else want a full card? I'm pulling just the full cards, a card for each person who wants one, from just the fulls from all the decks that I have. So there's a lot of different energy here, and hopefully y'all can hear me very well. So if anyone else is interested, I could show you some of the ones that I have and see. You're welcome, Anna. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. So let's see. I'm just going to pull one in general, unless someone says that they want one. And if I missed it, if you do want one and I'm not seeing it, just go ahead and pop it in again. My comments keep disappearing on me. So I still haven't figured out the whole comment thing for this Facebook Live. So let me just pull one, just for fun. I'll pull one for the collective and see what's going on. I don't want to look because I don't want to see which deck I'm pulling from. Oh, the Ghost Tarot. Isn't this one is so interesting? Really hard to see. Um, but the interesting piece about the Ghost Tarot is it's based around the traditional imagery where he's standing on a cliff and ready to walk over the cliff. But in this case, he's a ghost. So he's not going to fall, he's just going to float. And that's a pretty strong message for all of us, right? To not be afraid of the cliff because the potential is there that you're going to be caught, that you're just going to be floating. Um, and he takes his faithful companion along with him. He has a dog there. It's really hard to see, but at the base there, you can see that there's a faithful companion with him. So that's the Ghost Tarot. That one's hard to see. Does anybody else want a full card for this April Fool's Day? New moon, new energy, new start, leap of faith, all the good things. Aries season, and yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good to be the fool, right? Sometimes it's good to try something new, to take a risk, to have, and there's the thing, right? When you take that leap of faith, when you dive into something, you might have other people who are saying to you, oh, well, you're kind of foolish, or why would you try to do that, or why risk it? There's always a risk involved in taking that leap of faith. So this talks about that as well. Let's see what other cards we have here. And I don't know all the history on what April Fool's Day is. I did read a little bit about it, and it does go back, way back, when the nobility and the servants would change places, and the servants could do what they wanted to do without anything happening to them. So that might be where our modern day, pranking comes from. I'm not a big fan of the pranks, but I am a big fan of the energy of the Fool, the ability, the naivety of going forward and not worrying about what might happen. So if anybody's looking for a card, I'm pulling just the Fool, just the Fools from all the decks. I'll actually show you some of the ones that I have in case you're curious. So we have the Gilded Tarot. That looks like that. That's the Fool. And he's kind of a juggler. And it also says that he has everything he needs in his hands to get going. And very joyful card, very joyful card. And then complete contrast is the Golden Botticelli deck. And this Fool feels like he's being weighted down. Like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he looks a little bit fearful. So that's interesting that just in the first two cards, we have such a contrast of energy. If you can see the difference in the energy, and this is why I have different tarot decks, because when you use a different deck, even though there's a traditional meaning underneath it, which goes through all of the decks, then the energy of the deck itself comes in, and it can be quite different. So I really enjoy having multiple decks. And then we talked about the Ghost Tarot. Let's see which way this is. And I love the Ghost Tarot. I usually use it in the fall because it's that kind of energy, right? The ghost. And let's see who else we have here. Oh, this is from the Crystal Tarot. And he's kind of youthful and naive. Doesn't look like he is stepping forward yet. This particular Fool looks like he's in a pause. Not quite willing to take the leap yet. So that's an interesting energy coming in there. And let's see. Traditional. Here's the traditional Rider-Waite deck, Fool. And you can see he's pretty carefree. The sun's shining. And, in some interpretations of this, it's that he doesn't even know that he's on a cliff because he's not paying attention. So that's some energy that comes through with that. And then we already saw the Line Strider Fool, which looks like you're out seeking to find those pieces that seem to be lacking. not necessarily missing and not to complete yourself, but because it pulls you forward. You know, there's a reason to go seeking. And then the Merlin Fool, which I love from the Chrysalis deck, which is the ending and beginning all together. And the Vice Versa deck. So in the Vice Versa deck, it's printed on both sides. And the first side is the traditional fool standing at the cliff, ready to step off. And then the reverse side of it is a very similar image, but you get a different view. So that gives you different energy on what's going on with the fool. And minor things change. Like you can see more clearly that there's a shooting star on the reverse side. So maybe he's just looking at the star, making a wish before he goes forward. And then we have the Alice in Wonderland. Leap of faith down the rabbit hole. Seek your fortune down the rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland. And then finally we have the Wild Unknown, which is the vulnerability that comes with trying something new and not really being sure of your wings yet. So fun stuff. So I don't see any more comments coming in. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. I just wanted to pop on for some fun stuff for April Fool's Day, and I just thought, hey, it'd be a fun way to see all the different fools of the different decks that are out there. And if you have tarot decks, go look at your Fool card today and see what message it has for you. Tap into it. If you have more than one deck, try all your decks like I'm doing and see what card comes out for you from your tarot deck as the Fool on this new moon April Fool's Day. Let's see what else we have going on here. I don't see any other comments coming in, so I don't see. Just double checking to make sure. Hey Karen, would you like, welcome. Welcome to Divine Key, spelled QI. I'm Chris. I'm not sure if I know you or not, but welcome. Good to see you here. I'm pulling Fool cards from all my decks for April Fool's Day. So I'll pull a Fool card if you're interested. It's only the Fools. I don't have the full deck. I only have the Fools. So if you're interested, let me know, and I can pull a card for you. On this new moon in April 1st, U.S. time. The new moon happened at like 2 a.m. Eastern time, in case you're curious. And it's a time when I like to set my intentions every new moon. But this particular new moon is the start of the astrological season. And being on April 1st, it is a good time to set action for the rest of the year. So if you're interested in something to do, you could start creating a habit of setting intentions on every new moon and then seeing what manifests for you. It's kind of a fun thing to do. I've been doing it probably 10 years now, where I set intentions on the new moons, and it doesn't have to be the exact day. I usually give myself like a 3-day window around the new moon and the full moon. So but it's most powerful on the new moon. And I do it that way because it helps remind me when I first started to do it. So I see the moon and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do my new moon intentions. So it's a good way to stay in the habit. Oh, great, yeah. So you must be in Tribe. That's awesome. Good to see you here. So yeah, I'll pull a card for you. I have different decks here. Let's see, which card do we have for Karen? They're different sizes. I don't want to look at them because I don't want to see which card comes out for you. I want it to be the one that's meant for you. Okay, so for Karen, we have the Alice in Wonderland deck. And so this is a leap of faith. This is to go down the rabbit hole and to be willing to enter the darkness. So that's an interesting piece that came in for you, Karen, that didn't come in previously when I was talking about this card. Is that Alice is diving into this hole. She has no idea where it's going. She has no idea what's at the other end of it. And she just has faith. She just has faith that she is capable of handling anything that comes up. And that's the message I get for you, Karen, is that you're capable of handling whatever comes up. With the Fool, there's some naivety, there's some innocence with it, but there's also resilience. There's the ability to bounce back from any difficulties that might happen. So when Alice dives into this rabbit hole, she goes on an adventure. So if you have fear at all underlying anything that's coming up for you, look at it like an adventure and shift the mindset around it and just dive in with the knowledge that you can handle it and that there's help along the way. I mean, the cat's there, and the Cheshire Cat does help her when she is exploring Wonderland. So, Karen, that's the message for you from Alice in the Alice in Wonderland Fool. I hope that was helpful. And that was a fun one. That's a little bit different energy. I love actually reading for people because your energy brings a whole different feel to the card as well. So I could pull the same card for somebody else and they may get a completely different message. I think that's some of the things that people don't understand about tarot, that it changes. It really changes. I've been reading tarot for over 40 years. And I started with the traditional Rider-Waite deck, and even today, after all those years reading with that deck, if I use that deck to read, I will still see things that are different, or I'll get energy that feels different. So you allow yourself to really feel and hear the energy as it comes in. You're welcome, Karen. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate that. So let's see what else there is. Adventure awaits, for sure. Yeah. Life is an adventure, right? It makes it more fun if you feel that way. Excited instead of fearful brings better, more fun things to your life. I don't like to say better because, even hard things can be interesting. I don't see anyone else coming in, so just going to shuffle for a little bit longer. I appreciate everyone who's been here. Once again, this is Chris from Divine Key, spelled QI. You can check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to try to do more lives here and there. I keep saying that. I still don't, but, it is what it is. I try my best. So I'm pulling cards for April Fool's Day, for anyone who wants one. The Fool card from April Fool's. The adventure awaits. So, let's see what else we have here. Some ones that we haven't talked about. It did talk about all of them. Let's look at the vice versa again. So that's the traditional side, and then on the flip side, it turns to night, and he's still standing on the cliff. So I find that interesting too, that, that looks like daytime, maybe sunset, maybe sunrise. How long has he been standing on the cliff waiting to take that leap? Procrastination comes in. I don't know who this is for. It's for somebody. But I'm totally getting the energy of procrastination with this. Oh, maybe it's for me. I don't know. But, wishing on a star, wishing for it to happen, wishing does not make it happen. You have to take action. You have to move forward. You're all packed. You're all ready to go. You have to take that step to make change. And that's what this message is from the vice versa Fool coming in and helping us out today. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer, a couple more minutes. We'll take it to 30 minutes. And I appreciate everyone who showed up. It's really nice to see everybody. And hopefully, I keep getting a message that I'm getting low frames, but hopefully people can see and it's not causing any problems for anybody. Okay, so I'm pulling the Fool cards for anyone who just popped in. I have all the Fool cards from my decks, and I'm pulling a Fool for anyone who's interested. So if you're interested, speak up. In case you're curious as to what I do, I work with tarot. That's my favorite tool to use because I've been using it for so long. I also work with runes to do a similar kind of thing where we look at decision making using these tools. I do some journaling work around tarot and the tools that we use, some coaching. using these tools. You know, it's not really about telling the future, it's really about helping you decide how to approach decision making, or if you're confused, or if you're less like, I don't know what's going on, can you help me out? That's where I use tools like the tarot and runes to help people. So, in case you're curious, that's what I do. Okay, everybody. I just wanted to drop in real quick for April Fool's Day in the US. Happy April Fools. And go out there and set intentions on the new moon today. See what you get by the end of the 2 weeks when the full moon comes around. And go look at your Fool cards if you have them and see what message they have for you. Be well, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.